This is Flo Rogan, and this is The Art of Rhyming, episode 48. Just because you rhyme doesn't make you an artist. You know how we do. This is something to aspire to. Please hit subscribe to catch all my interviews and content, interviews from an artist perspective. We got two special guests today, one of them being Blackchai, an upcoming MC poet out of Brooklyn, New York. And then we got his producer for his latest album, August Fanon, most well known for his production work for some of the formative Mach Hommy projects. It's going to be an honor to have him on, and stand by. On Blackchai. Thank you for joining again. There he is. Peace, August. Do you
okay.
want
I'm here.
around?
Let's see here. We turn this around here. Boom.
There
Boom.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
I'll just invite Blackchai on now,
Okay.
and then we're good to go. Okay. I can only see half your face. Can everyone? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. Pardon the technical difficulties. Thank you for everyone joining back. So I already know how Blackchai's day is. I thought I'd ask you, August, how's your day today, bud?
Man, it's been crazy. Like I'm in the middle of moving right now, actually. I just got back in town from Texas, like on Sunday, and we're supposed to move Friday. It's been moved up to Thursday, kind of. So we're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You're moving to Texas permanently?
No,
For
I'm just moving to another spot in Brooklyn. I'm moving to like Brownsville.
Gotcha.
But I was
You go to
back in
Brownsville?
Texas last week, just visiting some family and taking care of a little business. I
Nice,
saw
nice.
some people too, some music people. It was real cool.
That's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope. So I told you guys I'm located near Toronto, about an hour away.
Okay.
So yeah, man. So yeah, just under the weather today, but we'll get through it, man. The show must go on, right? So yeah,
Right.
man. So wanted to give you guys an introduction. So we got upcoming MC and poet Blackchai, Brooklyn, New York. I would describe him as a formless and intricate introspective rhymer with some strong social political commentary. We're gonna get into that in a bit. And he's dropping his latest project, and may I say his best and most cohesive, because I did go through your catalog. Otherwise, a blur. Would you agree with my description, or am I overthinking it?
I mean, maybe it's just recency bias. That is definitely my favorite thing I've done so far. I think Year Wandering is probably the one I put the most like deliberate time into because that was,
Yeah,
it was the whole year. But this, I mean, maybe I'm just also just more like, a better writer between then and now because I did most of Otherwise a Blur in like a couple weeks,
oh yeah,
aside from like a small handful of songs. Like the whole impetus and like completion of it was all within the month of August.
yeah. So it's not about me, but I used to rhyme, so I like looking back at people's old projects and seeing how they evolve, because I know how you can evolve as an artist, right? To me, I think this is your most comfortable, also your most dense with like the words and just the amount of words per bar, man. But you pull it off seamlessly to me, man. So it's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, and I have to apologize to you because I did make a post the other day of like dope MCs that I thought were 25 and under, taking it back to like coastal
Yeah,
golden era Def Trucks, and now I'm realizing I don't know if you're under 25, so I apologize
I
if
I'm
I got that wrong.
28. I'm turning 29 next month.
Okay, all
But
right,
most people I meet think I'm like 23,
yeah, yeah,
and so it's happened a million times
got it.
already. It's fine. I'm
All
still under
right,
30 for like the
you,
next
you're you're
13
you're
months.
still in your 20s,
Yeah,
man. So dope, dope,
yeah,
dope.
kind of.
So we also got August Fanon, originally from Oakland, if I got it right. Uh,
Yes, that's correct.
yeah, currently in Brooklyn, New York. So just to let you guys know, like I'm a hip hop head spanning like 5 decades. I like to proclaim that, that I've been in this for the long run as a hip hop head. I won't claim to know everything, but it was dope to learn that you're widely known for producing some of Mach Hommy's most formative records, including HBO, The Gaddon Love Hurts, man. So it's an honor to have you, August.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you had me on.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy.
So I always like to start with how I learned about the artist. So I made a post not too long ago, who should I interview next? I got all kinds of tiers of artists that people put up. And my name is Giannis. I think he's on your album. He recommended to interview you off the strength of your new album. And I have to say that of all the things I peeped, like overall, your music grabbed me the most, man. So that's why I reached out. Um, Again, heavy poetry. I'm big on vocab. Like I don't like lyrical miracle stuff, but I like seeing artists
Yeah.
that seamlessly throw in like vocab that no one else does. That's like a big thing for me. So yeah, man. Um, yeah. So shout out to Giannis. He's got some crazy vocals as well. I peeped his page. How did you guys connect? Are you guys homies or?
Uh, yo, yours, homie, August. Yeah.
Sorry.
So like I I don't know him or like never met him personally, but when we were making the song, August was like, "Yo, I have an idea for like a vocalist to get on this and shit." And like that's something I never really considered just based on the kind of music I
Right.
make. It's just like no hooks and I just rap a whole lot.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it came out really cool and he really fucks with the music and shit too. So I'm really happy that he got on it. It's a really good song.
Yeah, man. And I like the genre of pop he makes. I believe it described as black dream pop. I've
Yeah.
never heard that categorized before, but listening to his vocals, it sounds dope. Sounds different. So yeah, man. Um, so what's also dope is that I think you told me up until this week you've never been interviewed before. So for me, it's more interesting to cover ground with like a new artist than like talk to an established artist where like I might be regurgitating facts that everyone knows about.
Right.
So I thought that was dope as well. I thought I'd ask you, what's happening with this release? Do you think now that people are reaching out to you, like what's different?
Um, So, well, this is now the third interview I've ever done, but
Okay,
it's all happened within like the past like 2 weeks.
right,
I did Raps and Crafts, which is like a written one by Couchbox Press, and then I just did the Next Movement podcast. But this is basically the third, like it's all happening at the same time, basically. But I mean, what was the question?
yeah. I was just asking, like, why do you think people are reaching out with this project?
Yeah,
What's it based
I
on?
so I mean, when I put out Year Wandering, that's probably the one that where I felt like it actually got like a very like decent reception. Like it
Right,
feels like I like hit a certain point, I guess. So that I mean that one brought in like a lot of people. That one is the reason why me and August started working together because we were just like homies originally, but then after that he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna send you beats." Um, But I mean, also, like, definitely, I'm not ignorant of the fact that a big portion of it is probably just off the fact of who I made it with.
right,
Like, he's one of the best producers in hip hop in like the past 10 years at least.
right,
Um, but I mean, it's just like that. It's just like the combination of like, I don't know, just the past 2 years of shit I've put out too. I mean, like, it's very slowly but very steadily gaining an audience. And like being in New York is a big factor because I can actually pull up to shows and just, see people and like people know who I am and like make like some kind
right,
of presence.
right.
And it's like, a lot of people, like, I've made a lot of friends in the past 2 years and like, I'm just like around more shit. So it's just like a combination of just like, the place and time where everything is happening, who I'm doing it with,
Right.
and just like the constant, steady progression of me putting out music over like the past 4 years.
Yeah. So I saw footage of you performing with like Feek and Lungs, if I got it right. Did I get it right?
Oh, that was just the show I was at.
Okay,
I,
gotcha.
I was just in the crowd. Yeah.
Would you say there's a new movement in New York in terms of like underground hip hop? Am I getting it right? Because it's what I'm
Um,
noticing talking to more cats from New York that I feel like they're taking it back to like just after the golden era in terms of like messaging and stuff like that.
yeah,
Is there something happening? Am I getting it right from where I'm sitting?
yeah. I mean, this has kind of been going on since like Marsburg came out, like
Yeah,
2010 type shit. Like Sean Price and Rock Marcy and all that stuff, and less like the steady progression to where we're at now. But it's like now comparatively, those guys are in the stratosphere kind of.
right,
Um, but I mean, like, yeah, like it's definitely like a whole new wave, and it's like a lot of comparison is to like golden age shit. Um, and I mean that is pretty much everyone's inspiration. Like literally everyone in New York in this specific scene is like a child of like Ghostface and Doom
right.
and like Prodigy and all that shit and like Rock Marcy and Sean P. But like it's also like a very heavy extension from like Def Jux stuff. I mean like a lot of people who are on Def Jux are very present with a lot of the people like my age and shit.
Yeah.
Like
It feels like
it's
a new wave, like more introspective raps too. Do you agree with
yeah,
that
like
from that
a lot of
perspective?
drumless beats, a lot of like, it just gives more space for rappers to like rap and
Yeah,
shit. Like the I don't know, the way I kind of see it is just like the whole air of it is kind of reminiscent of what I imagine it was like in like the late 90s, like underground shit, but like obviously different because it's 30 years later. Um, and like hip hop in general is different. Like people don't freestyle in parks anymore
right,
and like that
right.
type shit. And it's like anyone can put out music because the internet is a thing.
Yeah,
But like for the people who are like actually making waves, like Taze Grip, everyone in Taze Grip, um, like Backwoods, like Billy Woods and all those guys, like Starker and YL and like Triple R, like all the kind of surrounding different scenes, just like are definitely very reminiscent of that era and are definitely going to be. I mean, they already are, but are gonna be very important in like the
I,
lore of hip
I,
hop or lack of a
I
better
agree.
term.
Like, and even though like aesthetically or sound wise, it feels like it's taking it back. It's also adding its own spin on it, which adds a whole new life to it, man. So, I'm enjoying it very much, man. So the project drops September 6th, and it's on August Bandcamp. Everyone should check it out. I did cop it. I thought it was a masterpiece personally. So this is your second drop of 2024. Your first one was year of 2024 was Year Wandering. How's the response been to this project so far? How would you guys describe it?
Oh, the response has
Uh,
been great. You know what I'm saying? Like we're selling a lot of tapes and digital copies, and we're hoping to, do vinyl and do
Nice.
something, another surprise, merch drop. So it's been doing really well. Like I love the feedback. I passed the album out a lot before it got dropped to a lot of people, a lot of people that I knew. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Fans and artists and writers and whatnot. Just because I thought it was really good. You know, I was like, this album's good. And it's actually the first one on my label. Like Black Kids Production is actually a label now.
Oh,
So
wow.
um, it's the first drop on my label, and I'm really proud of the record. You know what I'm saying? It's been doing dope. It's been good. It's been really good.
Did you pass it around because it's so important? It's your first record, or do you always
I
pass it
mean,
around to hear what other
well,
guys think?
I try to pass around stuff, but I really OD'd
Right,
this time. Like
right,
this is the most I did, and that was part of it because it's my first drop.
right.
Definitely, you know what I'm saying? And also because like I had a lot of times because of planning and the way things go, I don't have the same amount of leeway time. But this one, everything just we just planned it really well, so I was able to do that. So it was yeah.
Yeah, people are going crazy in the comments. Album of the year material. Dope, dope. I can't wait to sit back end of year. I only listen to the artists I interview these days. That's sort of the path I'm on. So I can't
Okay.
wait to like put in perspective to all the artists like I'm zigzagging through and listening
Yeah.
to. So, but this is definitely a masterpiece to me, Pat. So, um, yeah. So I noticed it's not on Spotify. Is that on purpose? Like, are we on a Spotify boycott, or or is it going to be on
I mean,
Spotify
it
later?
was on purpose, but only just, we put it out and like we wanted to sell the tapes
Yeah.
and shit. And it's like, we're gonna put it on streaming eventually in like maybe like a month, definitely before the end of this year. But it's just like, at least with my idea, um, specifically is just like, put it on Bandcamp, see who's gonna like tap in and like support. And it's like we have mad download codes. We send it to hella people already and
Right.
shit. It's like I will give it to most of my friends or any of my friends if they ask. Most people I know, like coworkers and shit,
Yeah.
whatever. Like they don't need to pay $20 to listen to it. They know me in real life.
Yeah.
But like, just for all, just for that, because it's like I would do this for free, but it's at the point where it's like, oh, I can't actually
That's
make money from
amazing.
it, and I want to do
Yeah.
this for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
obviously, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do that.
I mean,
But
that's a
I
huge.
mean,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like streaming is hit or miss, but is either way is good for like
Yeah.
most. That's how most people consume music now. So I definitely want to put it on there eventually,
Eventually.
even if I only make like $5 a month. That doesn't matter.
I mean, it's a huge milestone getting paid off. You do. Most people that start in this will not even see that, man. So congratulations, man. Um, so August, when I went to your IG, it said you're a producer, writer, and a collage artist. My real job, though, is that of an international artist thief. So I'd ask you, what else are you up to outside of production, man?
Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I do the collage work, and I'm trying to start to do some more like t-shirt designs and stuff, and like with my collage and some other ideas, and I got some other people that I'm working with, just throwing around ideas and working on designs for t-shirts and stuff. I've been writing a little bit, here and there. I've been really locked into the production the last couple of years, like maybe since the pandemic. But
Mm,
like just actually right before I went to Texas, I took a trip with my girlfriend to Connecticut, and we went to this communist retreat. And some some I heard some conversation in there that really inspired me to get back to my writing, because it was something in there that was relating to my writing that I put my pen down, because I just didn't have I was looking for something I didn't have, like I didn't have the experience, and I didn't know where to go to like find out about that specific topic, you know what I'm saying? But somebody gave me a good lead, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can get back on this now. And it's cool
right,
because it's like it's all happening right when I'm moving to a bigger space, and I'll be have
right,
more space. Same thing with the collage thing. Like I was doing a lot of digital collage, but I want to start doing, hand tactical stuff. You know what I'm saying? Cut and paste. You know. So yeah, that's all I've been doing, and then I want to get into video stuff too. Like I don't know what I want to do. I want to do some editing and maybe some directing. So, but just a lot of stuff. You
right.
know. But the main thing is the music though. Right now, I'm really locked into that, and trying to push that off. With the
Right, right,
label
right.
and everything.
I,
Yeah, but
I,
I
I
got some. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, you go ahead.
I heard you say communist retreat. Is that in the U.S.? Like, can I ask you what that's about, or
Oh, I mean,
did I
it
get
was
it
just
right? Or
yeah. It was just a group of different communist people coming from different communist organizations, and they were just giving like kind of like a giving the group, letting the group tap it in with the group to let everybody know what their organization's doing in their own local area,
right?
what problems they're having, what's been going on. It's just kind of like a check in, you know. And
Got it.
it was like, yeah,
Got
it
it.
was just like it was just like at a somebody's house, somebody, in Connecticut. I actually thought it was going to be. I assumed it was going to be more formal, like it was going to be like at a school or,
Right.
something like that, like a university or something. I thought it was something like that, but it was very informal. It was at somebody's house, and it was real cool. Some real cool
Got
people.
it.
And actually, I met some people that were tapped into the underground. They're like, yeah, well, I know you and
Oh, word.
Billy Woods and Woo After Band. And all. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right. Right. Right.
Really
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So I wanted to ask you, working with Blackchai, like, what did you see in him as an artist that make you want to work with him? Like, I imagine at this stage, with the years of experience you have under your belt and just the artists you've worked with, you won't just work with anyone, I would
Yeah.
assume. So, what did you see in Blackchai that made you want to work with him?
I just thought he was really dope, but like after I really tapped in with the Year Wandering, I was
Yeah.
like, I was just thinking I have some stuff for him like that would fit really well. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, we should do something. You know what I'm saying? And like I got a lot of projects in motion with a lot of different artists and whatnot, but this just came together real easy. It was just he was down. You know what I'm saying? And then we did a couple tracks here and there, and then he was like, yo, I want to do an album this month.
Right.
I'm like, okay, okay, well, let's go. Like, okay. And then we kind of just pushed it into overdrive, and it was, what I'm saying, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dope.
but like it actually, I gotta say this, my girlfriend is the first person to put me on Black Child.
Right.
You know, uh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember before we actually physically met, like she was telling me about him and his crew and like Camp Dupree and some other people that she likes that raps with Black Chai. And then we just happened to bump in. We probably met like last year around this same week, actually really. Because I remember my Il Sugi was in town, this other producer out of Japan that I'm cool with. And he had a event with Theravada and Black Chai was there, so it was like, okay, so we started talking and whatnot, and we hung out a little bit more and talked and whatnot, kept in touch, and then just like I was like, yo, when I heard A Year Wandering, I was just like, yo, this kid's really nice,
Yeah.
I need to do something, So I've been thinking about it, but it was just like, after that, I was like, okay, let's go,
Yeah. So in the DMs, I messaged Black Shrine. I'm like, you might be the best poet MC I'm gonna have on my show. He found that funny, right? And I'm just wondering, where do you rank him, like, talent wise? Like, do you rank people, or like
Who, me?
like would you say he's up there with the pen? Like
Oh
what
yeah,
would you say
definitely,
about Black Chai?
definitely. Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's up there with the best. You know what I'm saying? He's up there with the best. You know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't really rank. I don't have like a rank. Let's see. Like, let me see. I mean, personally, I like Woods. I like Mach really a lot. I like Kinsey a lot. Like as far as just poets, people that I've worked with, I like those three probably the most. And like follow their trajectories the most, and like been like whoa, blown away by it. As you know.
so so I think you've probably been through this in several interviews, but I wanted to ask you, August, when you first linked with Mach Hommy, I believe what I heard in another interview is you guys linked up on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Did you Can you see greatness in him early on? You know what I mean? Did you think he would go far, or did he sort of blend with a lot of
No,
other dope, indie artists that spit?
no.
Like,
I thought he was really dope, and like I said, he reached out to me, and like I was like, oh, he's like, yo, he said like you got some colorful beats, man. We should do something. And I went to his page, and I was like, okay, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? This is dope. And then like we started working, and it was just crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was telling me, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm working with these guys, because he was working with Griselda, and he's like, I got a little buzz. People are expecting me. People are gonna be waiting on me when I come out. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? No doubt, man. Let's just, let's get busy. And like, what I'm saying, just like he said, what I'm saying, people was waiting on him, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just, I mean, I can't say that. Oh yeah, I knew he was gonna do waves and all this stuff, but I
yeah,
thought he was special. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was special. Definitely.
right, right, right. So having observed that, you know, do you when you want to work with someone new, like, can you see any habits they have or like qualities that you think would make them go far in the game? Like, do you feel like you got a sense for that just based on your
Um,
time in the game?
I don't. I mean, one thing like that seemed that Chai and like Mark have in common is they work a
Mm,
lot. You know what I'm saying? They're always working, and I think MCs they get into that kind of mode, and that are dope have a just a better chance of making it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know a lot of people like for whatever reason they can't record at that pace. Maybe it's something going on at their home. Maybe they're not inspired. Maybe they just can't get to the studio that often. But like, if you really putting it down like every day, like Vic Spencer's another guy like that. It works like that. Like and Vic's got a full-time job, and a family, but he's recording all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, if you're dope and you can do that, like you have a good chance, I think. You know.
so Black Tribe, if I got it right, you've been dropping since 2020. That was your first time putting out a
I mean, I
project, or
started I started putting out like rap music maybe around 2019 actually, but as Blackchai, yeah, 2020. Um, and that's really like what it's pretty much been the 99% of the time.
right? Has August been able to drop any gems on you? You know what I mean? Just how to operate or go about your art or business. Anything useful, or
I mean, really just through the process of like working together, you know, it's like because like making the album was really collaborative. It wasn't just like me rapping on the beats and then just like being like, here's what the song is. Like he had ideas. Half the like samples of like audio clips on there were from him. He did all the beat changes like after I recorded the verses and all that. So it's just like, just learning just little things, like just to make songs better. I mean, I get that from everyone I've ever worked with.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like,
I got this stuff from child, like a lot of the ad libs and stuff on like things going through the on during the vocals. He added that stuff, and it was just like wow, like it's like, and he mixed the album, but to get
Oh
it's
yeah,
like it's almost like I told him he said he wants to mix. I'm like, yeah, man, I think you can really do that, and like because it was like what's my man Willie Green level type of stuff that what I'm saying, like just like I mean in terms of like filling in the extra gaps and making the sound and making the shit just even more cinematic and more like making the album bigger. That stuff really and he's already got an ear for that and he can do that. I'm like, that's crazy. So
if I can
yeah,
humbly say, I think this album has your best sound quality too, just from what I peep, man. I also listen to
really,
sound quality,
yeah.
so that's what I thought, man.
that's dope to hear. Yeah, this is like the first, I mixed my first EP in 2020, but it's admittedly it sounds like shit kind of like quality wise. I think some of the music on it's still good. Um, But yeah, it's like over the past 4 years, I've only really mixed like single songs, like anything I've put on like SoundCloud or some shit like that. I mixed myself, and it was like kind of a process in tandem with like being more comfortable like recording.
Yeah,
'Cause it was just I used to mix my voice mad quiet, and like most of the reason was probably because I didn't like the way I sounded like
right.
recorded. But like definitely over the past year, I've like really feel like I've figured it out, like how to use my voice and do all that,
Yeah,
which maybe aided in like me being able to mix this better. Like, and the only reason I really mixed it was just because I just wanted to get this done on my own timeline and just have as much creative control as possible, like
yeah,
just to relieve my own internal anxiety and shit.
yeah,
But now I'm like, I kind of want to put in time now to like do that more.
yeah.
because other than just being like another like bag or whatever, it's like it's fun. Like, if I can't ever live off of being a rapper, maybe I could, at least like have a job working in like a studio or some shit if I ever get really nice
Right.
with it. And it's just
Yeah.
like more creative outlets and shit like that. But no, I'm really
Something
happy with what I do.
adjacent to it. So, and I think you sound the most comfortable on this album, like vocally, man. You killed it. So you told me your influences are Ghostface, which I could see when I listen to your older stuff. MF Doom, Billy Woods. I also hear some Prodigy in your earlier stuff. Would
Yeah,
you say?
I was
Mhm.
just gonna say, so when you asked me that, I was like, I have to boil it down to like what I currently
Right.
feel. But like it's so much more. Like when I started rapping, it was like Ghostface, Doom, Breeze Bruin from the Juggernauts, um, like shit like that. Like RZA,
Mm,
weirdly. RZA's a really good rapper.
RZA
People don't
is a
understand
really
that,
good
but
rapper.
he's a fucking
RZA is a really good
amazing
rapper.
rapper.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We haven't
Um,
even talked about that, but yeah, I fuck with RZA heavy too. I think he's underrated like a
yeah.
motherfucker.
And but yeah, and like Prodigy, like Earl Sweatshirt, all that shit. Yeah, no, that definitely all plays a part in it.
Ha,
Fort Omega.
right. How long were at writing rhymes and emceeing before you dropped your first project? Was it like a decade type of thing? I know people that
Nah,
you know have been doing it for forever, like behind closed doors. So
I didn't start rapping till I was a teenager. Maybe not even till like right after I finished high school. So I was probably like 17.
right,
And I think I started putting shit out when I was like 21.
right,
Yeah. So like yeah, I just remember like, cause I've been playing guitar since I was like 13. So like I've always been like doing music for the most part, and before that I just skateboarded. So I was always on some like shit like that.
right,
I would like drew a lot when I was a kid. And it's like obviously I was born in 95, so I grew up on all the music that was out. Like the first music I remember hearing is like Aaliyah and like
right,
Outkast and DMX.
right.
Um but yeah, like when I started rapping, it was just like Wu-Tang and Ghostface, and I was also just like listening to a bunch of random shit. Like I was just go on YouTube and just like find like nine like random shit from the 90s, like just like random songs from like Brand Nubian and like Jurassic 5
Right.
and like yeah, just shit like
You,
that.
your age group that definitely had the advantage with the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
Virtual
Yeah,
digging in the
no,
crates.
yeah, like I've always been like kind of tight when like older people or like like your young people don't know about old music, but it's just like we have like supercomputers in our pockets. Like we
Yeah,
can look up shit from like whenever.
yeah,
Like it's just so much easier,
right.
especially depending on your interests. Like skateboarding is a big reason why I fell into the music that I like because it's it's counterculture, it's all alternative shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So uh, I interviewed another a younger artist, Joaquin the Divine. You probably know him. I think he's like 23, 24. And he told me in his house, his grandfather was like listening to like 70s, 80s hip hop, and then his dad was listening to like 90s and everything after. I think that's another difference with your generation. Is that what you had in your household as well? Like you had like hip hop history like playing through your household? Like daily?
Kind
Was it
of
like that? Because
like
my house wasn't like that at all. When I
I
was growing
mean
up and writing
my
rhymes.
mom grew up in the 80s. So like she was a teenager for like
Right,
all that stuff. My dad is there's a pretty big age difference between them, but like my dad, so he he doesn't listen to rap, but like he listens to like 60s and 70s rock.
right,
So like I remember like it being a big mix of like soul music, like Curtis Mayfield, Jackson 5 type shit, and then like a lot of like 90s, like late 90s music, like like I said, like Outkast, Aaliyah, DMX. DMX is a big one. And then my sister was born in the late 80s, so like it was also shit because she was like watching MTV. So like it was like anything from like Dipset to like Usher,
Right.
and it was just all that happening while I was like a child, like just absorbing shit.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, on your track War Rations, I believe you had a clip with like Alex Trebek, like one of his guests explaining to him what nerdcore hip hop is. So is that what you categorize your music as? Nerdcore hip hop? And if so, how long did it take you to get comfortable with,
No,
with that category?
no,
No,
not
no,
at
that was a
all.
ironic. That was a
Sorry?
ironic.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, just give me a second here, guys. Just looking through my questions
Oh,
here.
no problem.
Uh, how's everyone doing tonight, man? Thank you, everyone, for joining. I see New Ground Music saying incredible interview. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. So I wanted to ask you, like, with your rhyme style, you know what I mean? Like, as an MC, when you go out to shows, like, you spit out some word salads. It sounds dope aesthetically. For me, I enjoy it in part because I have to play it back, and I'm the type of listener. I like the replay value to play it back. But when you're performing your material, are people getting it, do you think? Or are they enjoying the aesthetics more? Do you think they're getting the message of what you're saying? Like, do you have a read on it?
Um, I kind of do now. Like when I'm making stuff, I don't really think about it, and for the most part, I think I like assume that it's just so all over the place, like topically,
Right.
that it's no, it's like I just kind of assume myself that it's like it's just kind of a bunch of random tidbits of shit, and there's not really any bigger
Yeah.
picture, at least in my mind. But or either that or I'll attribute meaning to things after I write them.
Mm.
Um, but like people come to me with like really solidly like thought out like takeaways from the music, like
Right.
they're like really intricate, like just like ideas and shit, and like I'm like surprised, but then when I look at it after that, I'm like, I guess that is in there. Because I mean, when I listen to music, I usually am taking in like the whole picture first. Like I don't really, which is like I write a lot of lyrics, but I don't typically pay super close attention to like the lyrics and like meanings behind things the first few times I listen to it. I'm just
Yeah.
really like enjoying how it sounds
And
sonically.
Abe Jefferson, the beauty of interpreting poetry is that there are so many angles. I love hip hop with like just bits and pieces. That's some of my favorite stuff, man. It just part of the enjoyable part, it fires visuals off in my head. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm not sure it's always what you interpret, but it's always like one visual after the other, and that's some of the dopest shit to me. If your rhymes are poetic enough, they can illustrate that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, man. So regarding your writing process, in my time writing rhymes, I never rapped to drumless beat. I never wrote to drumless beat. Can you explain the process? Like, how do you know where to put your syllables so that it will sound aesthetically good to the listener? I don't know if you care about the listener, in your writing process, but how would you explain your process for that?
I mean, you just kind of feel it out. I mean, like, I feel like if there's anything I intrinsically have like a very good grasp on, it is just like that. Like, like just when it comes to rapping, like flow and like placing words and like shit like that is probably where I put in the least amount of effort because it's just the easiest thing to like when I write. Most of the time I'm not thinking of specific words. It's like it's really more so word sounds
Yeah,
that are important to me, like how just how the words sound juxtaposed next to each other,
right.
and then I just have to think of what will fit in there and make sense. And it's like sometimes it's like a little different every time. Like sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be struggling for hours to come up with the right thing, and then sometimes I'll just like it's just like kind of flows out of you, and then
I,
like 40 minutes later you have like a whole
I,
verse.
are you writing to the beat or are you like
Yeah.
making it work after the fact?
I rarely ever write things without a
Got
beat.
it.
Maybe I'll like come up with like a phrase or something, but usually there's a beat. Lately I've been like, I'll start writing to a beat and then I'll start losing momentum and then I'll put on a different beat
Mm,
and then it'll just keep going and then eventually I'll be like, all right, I'll record it on this. Um, but
got it.
yeah, it's always over a beat for the most part. And like being drumlet, it's just like in my experience and probably a lot of people's experience, it's just like a lot of beats with drums just kind of force you to be in a certain
Yeah,
pocket. Sometimes it doesn't because it's also I think dependent on the sample or like um maybe if the beat is like not in 4/4 like some
mm,
other time signature that just like gives you more space. But it's really just like the drum and most drumless beats have drums. They're just not programmed, it's just in the sample. But it just gives you more space. Like you don't have to end a bar on a rhyme.
yeah,
Like you said, like the Prodigy shit you said before. It's like Prodigy is one of the more well-known like dudes who would write things that don't rhyme,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
purpose.
yeah, yeah. It's dope. It's just dope how it comes out aesthetically. So, I saw an IG post of you singing a Beatles cover playing the guitar. That's a completely different gear from your hip hop aesthetic, right? Like, uh, do you ever see
Yeah.
yourself incorporating the two worlds, or are you gonna keep them separate musically?
Um, I mean, I played in a few bands around the time I like started, like made right before and around the time I started like doing like as Blackchai. Um, but like I mean, I like take a lot of my references. I'll even like interpolate like lyrics from a lot of the other music I'm into, like a lot of like punk music
Right.
and like just like general, just like rock shit. Um, but like I don't know. I've never really been too interested in incorporating the two like beside each other. Like if it's like doing like a guitar thing for like a beat for like someone to sample or chop up, that's one thing. But like the like heavy crossover, like where it kind of treads the line of actually being rap rock, I'm not really
Yeah.
interested in.
Yeah. Probably a good idea. I think I don't like suggesting what artists should do, but sounds like a solid idea to keep them apart. So, by the way, August, Black Try, how are you guys doing for time? Are you guys still okay, or?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I need to get off here in a little bit though, because I need to get
Okay.
back to packing and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No worries. Anytime you gotta jump off, just jump off. I just got some questions for Try, some for you, but whenever you gotta jump off, just go ahead, man. No worries.
Okay.
Uh, so so back to Black Chai. So I noticed on a year wandering on the cover, you got a "I love New York" text, and then it's sort of on top of the Soviet Union flag. I don't think that was placed by accident to me. Like I interpret it as like intentional placement. I just thought I'd ask you like what is that saying on the cover? Um,
I mean, the cover is really just like a collage. Um, it was put together by like a couple people, like um a haunted house who produced most of the tracks, Noah, who also was rapping on War Rations. Um, he physically put it together, like printed out the images I sent and
right.
put the collage together, and then it was just like kind of compiled to like insight and like suggestions from like me and 98 Cream and our homie Ari. Um, but like I I I don't think that part was actually any kind of intentional placement. Maybe Noah just thought it looked good like that. Um, some of it I kind of had moved around, I think, and like there was like maybe like one or two different versions, but it's really just like a collage of like mostly these things the album is referencing. Like a lot of it is cut up from the manga, which like a lot of there's a lot of reference into it and on the album about it is this manga Vagabond, which is like about the samurai Musashi Miyamoto, who was he's the most like famous samurai in like history. And it's like a fictionalized manga based off a novel about him. But like a lot of the story has to do with like Buddhism and like finding yourself and like just that kind of shit. And like he was a Ronin, which is a wandering
So,
samurai.
so,
So
so
that all plays into your wandering. And then it's just like the communist thing is like, it's what I align with politically
right,
in my ideology. And there's a lot of references to that.
right,
So, threw that on there. I Heart New York was just like, it's ironic. It's like the bullshit, like only tourists wear those shirts, but it's like, I love New York. It's where I'm from. And you know, a lot of it also plays into the album because I made the whole thing after moving back to New York from Philadelphia. Um, and like yeah, it's pretty much just everything the album is about is kind of
got it.
on there.
Kind of your belief system,
Yeah,
I guess, right?
basically. Yeah,
So,
just all in collage form.
are you okay if I quote a couple bars
Yeah,
off of some of
go
your
for it.
random bars? So quoting Stone Stance on the Second Wind project, you're like, hammer sickle to the shell, fuck a capital, death not a path for the present black abstract trapped in a remnant. Do you care to kind of expand on that?
Yeah, yeah, and that was a while ago. So some of it is probably just what just came about in the moment. I mean, the first part I feel is kind of self-explanatory. Like the hammer sickle, fuck your capital is just literally just saying like the hammer sickle, the communist symbol, fuck your capital is pretty much just saying, fuck your
Right,
capital capital is like what the money and the resources and all that capitalists own and covet and all this shit that the bourgeoisie has. It's just like fuck all of that.
right,
It's pretty much just like just speaking to that. It's like the very general
got
um
it.
understanding of that. But then the rest of it, what was the second part?
Um, you're like hammer and sickle to the shell, fuck a capital, death not a path for the present black abstract trapped in a remnant.
Yeah, I mean the rest of that I also feel is pretty self-explanatory. I guess it sounds kind of vague. Um, but
It's
yeah, death's not a path to the present. I mean,
it,
that's
it,
pretty much
it,
what it sounds
if
like.
I'm overthinking it, you know what I mean, or like looking too much into it for a meeting, all good, man. It's yeah, man. The bars, your bars are potent. Um, even just trying to interpret them, man. Um, so I'm gonna ask a closing question if that's cool with you guys, but I'll start by
Okay.
reading the description of your album on Bandcamp. You're like, with otherwise a blur, Blackchai and August Fanon are yet another powerful expression of this continuing tradition. Together, they've created a diverse and engrossing experience. On this album, you will hear countless styles, a range of sonic compositions, and messages that come from a lineage of those demanding liberation, created freely and unabashed, breaking the constraints of an unnatural order and giving us something to experience our own connection to the radical tradition. So to me, I take it your music has a purpose. It has, meaning. You create it for pretty deep reason. I thought I'd ask you as the closing question. I'll ask both of you guys. If you could snap your fingers and change America tomorrow, how would it look and feel? Is
I
that
would
too big
look
of a
and feel.
Oh,
question?
Oh
oh no,
man.
I was
Um.
Is
waiting for
that
you.
too grand?
No, I mean, no, I mean, I mean, it would look and feel great. I think if I could change it tomorrow, like however I want it to be, yeah. I mean, everyone would have everything they needed. Everything would chill. That'd be great. You know. So.
Yeah,
It'd
pretty
be
much
awesome.
that. Just like nobody living in fear or poverty or wondering how they're gonna eat or sleep under a roof. Um, nobody just really wanting for any physical things. But then I feel like that would also entail not really having a society that covets physical possessions and things like that as much. Um, yeah, I mean, pretty much just boils down to everybody being chill and everything being chill. Uh,
Got it.
yeah.
But by description, I like the sound of it. So I want to thank you guys for your time. Thank you for telling us about your story, inviting us into the process of this masterpiece album. I've said it the fourth time already. Is there anything up next for you guys that you want to let us know about, or let your fans know about?
No, just be on the lookout for more merch from the Blackchai album. We're gonna hope to do the vinyl early next year, and then we got something else coming before the year comes out too.
Got it, got it, got it. So just before we depart, I want to thank you, everyone, for joining. We got Upstate, we got Gregory, Tyler, we got Matt Maddox, whole bunch of others. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks again, guys, and have a great night.
All right, peace, man.
Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.